The story begins in a deserted backcountry drug lab. Everyone inside is busy cooking up the freshest poison imaginable, unaware that the anti-narcotics police are already closing in. When the special ops team bursts in, the criminals panic and shout for their helpers to get rid of the poison right away. But it's too late. None of them make it out alive. Even worse, the pink toxin pours into the river and infects every crocodile downstream. The crocodiles, already dangerous, grow even more violent. Within days, they begin attacking and eating people. And the news is full of stories about the deadly croc attacks. Meanwhile, Sarah and her best friend Jenny are planning a beach vacation and to scatter Jenny's late boyfriend's ashes, as per his final wish. As they step out of the campus lobby, they're surprised to see their classmate Sophia hanging around too. Since Jenny sold her car and can't afford a new one, she and Sarah have to squeeze into Sophia's car for the ride. A few hours later, Sophia loses her temper. She can't wait to see her boyfriend on the island. So without telling anyone, she quietly buys plane tickets for the whole group. The pilot arrives at the airport, and under the captain's guidance, they board a plane roughly the size of a bread truck. At first, the flight seems smooth and full of promise. Several people also went to their destination with longing. One passenger won't stop bragging about his multi-million-dollar deals and refuses to turn off his phone. He irritates everyone around him. When a large man in a yellow shirt tries to quiet him, the plane suddenly lurches and knocks that man out cold. Moments later, both engines roar and then sputter out of control. Fear spreads through the cabin. Crashing from this height feels like certain death. But the captain stays calm and tells them he can make an emergency landing on the water. When Sarah next opens her eyes, they had fallen into river and the plane has torn into pieces. On the shore, some of their number was missing. They shout and search along the bank, but there's no sign of them. And worse, no phone signal. Bold as ever, Jenny sneaks off into the nearby woods. She soon stumbles upon a nest of crocodile eggs, carefully pockets a few, and returns back. As they argue about their next move, the co-pilot suddenly bursts from the water. The captain, who knows the man can't swim, rushes in to help. In the chaos, they were scared and crawled back to the shore. Sarah warns everyone to back away, reminding them that crocodiles attack when their territory is threatened. As the group step back, they notice the big man in the yellow shirt is wrapped in a sticky sauce, making him an easy target. And the loud, show-off businessman lies still, floating face down in the water. They wander through the woods until it gets dark. Sarah, who knows a bit about wild animals, tells everyone they need to find a dry spot to sleep. Sophia complains loudly. She hates taking orders, but the others agree with Sarah. In a crisis, you need a strong leader, so they settle down for the night. At bedtime, the captain sits beside Sarah. He tells her not to worry about Sophia's whining. It's clear he likes her. Who wouldn't like a smart, pretty girl? Meanwhile, at midnight, David gets spooked by a pea and sneaks off into the dark. David goes to use the bushes and his phone rings. Nervous, he drops it and scrambles to find it.
It's Rufus, can you hear me?
By morning, they find David's body, stiff and lifeless. The crocodiles bit him, but left his body as a warning to the rest. They spot a small wooden cabin in the distance, and Jenny decided to go to the cabin for help, thinking it was too dangerous outside. But when they passed on open space, Sarah suddenly found something wrong. She quickly stopped a few people and pointed to the shadow in the dark. The captain clearly understood what she meant and quietly told Sarah that not everyone could survive in this situation. So Sarah warned everyone to rush to the cabin together because the crocodile could not attack when together. They forget everything Sarah had just said and rushed into the wooden cabin. The girl at the back was unlucky. She had broken her arm from getting off the plane, and now her leg was beaten up by the crocodile. The director pulls her into his arms, devastated. Outside, they hear the big lady calling for help, but no one dares go out there. They huddle in the wooden cabin, terrified, through the night. The next morning, Mike finds an old map showing a big building not far away. Maybe it has a phone or radio. The captain says it's just a silly sketch and too dangerous to follow. But with no other choice, The group agrees that starving here isn't an option. They set off toward the building. Soon they come to a small river blocking their path. They could sneak along the bank and risk another crocodile attack, or they could build a raft. Everyone sticks together. They gather fallen logs and vines, lash them tightly, and make a makeshift raft to carry them across. As soon as it's ready, Mike realizes he left his backpack behind and dashes back, only to discover a crocodile fast on his heels. He nearly screams for his mother. The raft, though sturdy, moves too slowly. It's only a matter of time before the reptile overtakes them. Suddenly, the blonde girl, realizing she's become a burden, didn't want her child to lose his father, tells her husband, "I love you," and leaps into the water to sacrifice herself, buying the others a chance to escape. So, the question here is, if you were that blonde girl, what would you do? Thanks to her sacrifice, the rest reach the far shore. They spot the building from the old map and hurry toward it. When they get inside, they see that it's the drug ring's headquarters, the lair of all the infected crocodiles. The ground is littered with thick, reinforced shells like bulletproof armor. The walls are stained with blood and pocked with bullet holes. They know they've crossed into forbidden territory. Fortunately, the traffickers have already been wiped out, so the group pushes inside with little opposition. To be safe, or perhaps to impress Sarah, the captain splits the group into two teams, assigning Sophia to his side with the intent of getting rid of her after her scheming and constant clashes with Sarah. He leads her to a stairwell, exposes her deception, and pushes her over the railing. But as she cries out and begs for forgiveness, a crocodile suddenly appears behind the captain. They round a corner and find a young man bleeding badly. He gasps, "There's no way out," and collapses. He dies before they can help. Then they hear Sophia scream. Rushing back, they catch her just before she falls. Maybe the captain's harsh words or Sarah's quick rescue woke her up. She looks at Sarah, tears in her eyes, and says she's sorry. They hug. In a crisis, every hand matters. They push on, hoping to find an exit. Instead, they stumble into the crocodile's resting area. Across the clearing, just past the sleeping beasts, lies a phone. Sarah points and volunteers to run straight to it. The others shake their heads, too scared to move. She tells them they won't wake unless we make noise. Slowly, one by one, they follow her. Sarah moves like a shadow. But when Mike is last, he steps on a dry branch with a loud crack. The crocodile's eyes snap open and turn toward them. Director grabs Sophia and jams the door shut with his back. Sarah seizes the phone and shouts for help. Just as she finishes telling their location, the electricity cuts out and there's no way to call. As the last man, Director steals himself and asks Sarah whether they'd rather starve here or burst out and fight for their lives. But in the end, everyone chooses the latter. They open the iron door, but a heavy net of rope and hooks blocks the exit. In that moment, Jenny remembers the stolen croc eggs. He rushes forward, holds them out to the Croc King, and coos, "Here, baby! Isn't this what you want?" The king snaps an egg from his hand and in one bite, tears off Jenny's arm. Sarah closed his eyes and shot the Crocodile King. Director and Jenny rushed over quickly.
Don't push me.
Move!
It's over, but there are no bullets left in the gun. Seeing she was about to be eaten by the crocodile, Sarah picked up a knife from the ground and stabbed it directly in the crocodile's eyes. Sarah spots an oil drum by the far wall. She rolls it over and pours fuel into the shallow pool around them. She strikes a match. Flames roar up, and the Croc King is engulfed in fire. When the flames die down, everyone is still alive. A rescue helicopter swoops in and airlifts them to safety. In the film's final scene, Sarah still thinks of Jenny's boyfriend's last wish. The next morning, she returns alone to the riverbank. She scatters his ashes into the water.